Now I know, Emma and I know that you're going to be nice and quiet for the two of us, just for a few minutes, okay? So good afternoon. As has already been mentioned, I'm Jane Simpson and I'm very proud to be a Shady Lady. Emma Vulin, my beautiful friend, is a mother, a partner, a daughter, a sister, an auntie, a colleague and a friend. And as you've learned, Emma was diagnosed not quite 12 months ago yet with MND. Emma is a very high achiever in the really shit health stakes, as Emma had a severe stroke at the age of 36, after which she had to relearn to the basic skills of life, so to talk and walk and cut up her food. You get all of that. You are a high achiever, Em, in the really bad health stakes.
Maybe at that.
Yeah. Since your stroke and now your MND diagnosis, and that you spend time now in a wheelchair and your arms have limited use, it's given you a new perspective on difficulties people with disabilities have. But you're making changes within your workplace, which is Victorian Parliament, and with your colleagues who actually have the power to make change for all of us. Tell us what you've been doing and how you're doing that.
For me, I think it was an eye-opener for my colleagues and the Speaker of the House when one Monday I rolled into Parliament on a wheelchair and they thought, oh, oh my goodness, can you get around? And it took a week for me to identify 4 pages worth of things that I thought needed to be fixed in the People's House, not just for me, but for the public that are coming to visit us at Parliament. So, for instance, the public toilet didn't have an automatic door, so I couldn't get in or out, it was too heavy. So I raised that one. There was places where there was big divots in the concrete that I would tip out of my wheelchair. They fixed, they have done a lot. They've also put in rails up to my seat in the chamber, so they have been very good and they acted very quickly, but it was interesting to see that that place was not accessible.
Yeah, it blew my mind when Em told me that it's 2025 and the House of the People was not accessible to all the people. Mm-hmm. But thank you for doing that for us. Em, Emma is reluctant when it comes to talking about MND because it's kind of what her life is turning into now, and yet she has a really big job doing other things that she's doing. Why do you keep talking about MND and what's driving you to do it, despite the fact you got it?
For me, I think it's the least I can do to raise awareness. A lot of people still, despite the incredible work that Dana and her family have done in raising the awareness of motor neuron disease, there's still a lot of people, and particularly people that don't follow football, that are still unaware of what this disease means. So quite often people will say, oh, you'll be right, you need to think positively. And I think in the initial stages I would say thank you and realise they didn't understand. And then eventually I had to start saying, it doesn't work like that. For me, it is terminal. And for me, I've accepted that. But it was to raise awareness. I was surprised at how many people weren't aware.
Yeah, I think, and I say this regularly, is that the knowledge of MND is quite parochial to Victoria. So outside of Victoria, people's, they don't know who Neil Danaher is. Can you believe that? But if you say MND outside of Victoria, people go, what? So yeah, it's very important that you keep talking about it. Now this is when I'm probably going to make Emma cry, and she asked me not to, but bad luck.
I've only got 1 tissue each.
I bought none, she bought 2. On your really tough days, which I know is about every 9 days.
On average, yeah.
On average, you have a bad day every 9 days. Who keeps you grounded and gives you the reasons to smile, that smile of yours?
I'm very, very lucky. I have 2 children, a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old, who are really, really resilient and brave, and they will pick me up when I'm at my lowest. I have a very calm partner who I am so grateful for. I couldn't imagine this journey without him. But there are days that are very emotional, and some days are physically hard, a lot of pain at times. I try and stay positive as best I can, and as I said, I have a really good support system at home, which I couldn't do it without them, to be honest.
Matt is the calmest, coolest dude you ever done meet. He is amazing. But the other thing is that if you're having a bad day, or if you feel emotional or you feel sad, you allow those feelings. You're not pretending the whole time.
They fall out.
Fall out.
And sometimes they happen at the most difficult times. I've been to events where I'm supposed to get up and speak at a citizenship ceremony, and all of a sudden I can't stop crying, so I've had to say, I'm really sorry, I actually can't do that today, which is really difficult. It's not, my heart wants to do a lot of things, and sometimes my body says you can't. So.
But your brain doesn't.
No.
No. Right now, I was at an event with you a few weeks ago, and I asked the question, who has heard of MND? And everybody in the room put their hand up, yes. And I said then, who knows what MND is? And most hands stayed down. Right now, you have the opportunity to tell people in this room who've heard of MND but don't really know what it is, to understand what living with MND is really like. And what do you want them to know?
I want you to know that for every person that suffers with motor neuron disease, that the journey is different. A lot of people will compare me with Neil and say, oh, you'll be right, you've got a decade. And unfortunately, that's not the case for everyone. So not comparing people with the same illness, in particular for this disease, because it's different for everyone. I can't remember what else you asked me.
What do you... She's a done.
I've got MND, sorry.
She's got MND. we were out the other day and we were playing drag bingo, and she's so competitive. And she was losing, and at one point she said, Jane, I've got MND. And I said, so? And then she said a few minutes later, Jane, I've had a stroke. Yeah, I didn't let her win. What is it really like living with MND?
It's difficult.
I mean, just getting here today.
Some days I cramp overnight, and so the next days are really, really difficult. So on Sunday night I cramped a lot in the evening, and then Monday I couldn't walk. That was also an emotional day. That must have been day 9 for me. Yeah. It's things like losing your independence. So in the last couple of weeks I've realised that I can't wash my hair anymore, so my partner will wash my hair now. It's been quite a while since people have had to help me with writing, cutting my food. I can't cook anymore, I can't lift a pot. I have straws everywhere because I can't lift the glass very well. It's basically seeing your independence go, and each week realising that there's something new that you can't do. So another thing, I realised I couldn't do it with my watch anymore. Yeah. And you know, after 3 days of that, you realise that's something that you've lost. And so it's just sad that gradually your independence goes more and more. And I was saying to Jane on Monday, I have a couple of hours of carers a week. And on Monday, I had to say for the first time, okay, I need you to put my bra on. And I was hoping to save my nudity for a bit longer, but she helped me, and it's these psychological things as well, thinking I don't particularly like asking for help, but now it's gotten to a point where I don't have a choice.
Well, that's something a lot of us can think about quietly, is that having your independence taken away like that is brutal and cruel. For people who want to help, but they don't quite know what to say or what to do, what can you suggest to them?
I think be brave and ask if someone needs help. If you can see that they're struggling, the worst they can say is no. But sometimes it's nice to have that offer. I think that's important for people, for anybody, not just people with MND, but people with medical conditions, and if you can see them struggling, offer.
Thank you for being with us today, and it's been a joy to be up here with my beautiful Emma. Thank you.
Thank you.